In this second review question, I'm going to focus on multiple polluters, which is different from the previous one. It was a single polluter. So multiple polluters, say two polluters. Right. So if there are two polluters, so we have FEM1 and FEM2, right? And suppose each FEM emission, each FEM emits 10 units. Each FEM emits 10 units, right? Which means the total pollution, which means it's 30 units, right? And the government determines that emission must not exceed 10 units. So government determines that emission must not exceed 10 units, right? So 10 units is the maximum in total, so which means 20 is above 10. Therefore it means the firms should abate in total 10 units, right? We need to abate 10 units from this emission, right? So if the estimated marginal abatement cost, say for FEM1, right, the estimated marginal abatement cost, we put 1 for FEM1, we are given it as 2.5 A1. A1 is abatement for FEM1. Then marginal abatement for FEM2, we have a 2 here. We are given the estimated is 0.625 A2. Meaning this is abatement for A2. Let's say this is equation 1. Let's say this is equation 2. Right. So given this scenario, right, does a uniform standard meet the cost-effective criteria, right? That's question number 1. Another question is, we want to estimate the cost-effective abatement level for each firm given these marginal abatement cost curves, right? So want to estimate the cost effective abatement level. Given the two marginal costs, marginal abatement costs, right? So I want you to recall the equimarginal principle. I hope you still remember that, right? For a cost-effective abatement, the equimarginal principle should hold. What did we say about equimarginal principle? We said the marginal abatement cost for all the polluters should be equal, or the marginal abatement cost for, if we are talking about regions, for all the regions should be equal. So in this case, we are saying marginal abatement cost for FEM1 should be equal to marginal abatement cost for FEM2. That's the equimarginal principle that should hold for cost-effective criteria, right? Which means from here we are saying 2.5 A1 should be equal to 0.625 A2, right? So then we say this is our equation 3, right? Then what is the total abatement? All the firms should abate 10, right? So firm A is going to abate A1 and firm 2 is going to abate A2, and the total should be 10. This is our equation 4. From this, if we make, say, A2 subject of formula, we're saying A2 is equals to 10 minus A1. A1 just comes this side, right? Then now next step, using equation 3. Using equation 3, right? Sorry, using equation 3, this equation, right? Substitute for A2, right? Then we're saying equation 3, 2.5 A1 is equal to 0.625 A2. Then we substitute for A2 with, this is A2, okay, yeah, this part, 10 minus A1. We have this. Now we can solve for A1. This goes to 2.5 A1 equal to 6.25 minus 0.625 A1, right? Let's get to the other side, right? And put like terms together, right? And I mean, this is to the same side. What do we have now? We end up having 3.125 A1 equal to 6.25. Divide this by 3.125 by 3.125, right? Then A1 is equal to 2. Then if we go back to the second step, where we said A2 is equal to 10 minus A1, it implies that 10 minus A1 is 2 minus 2, which is equal to 8, which means A1 is equal to 2 and A2 is equal to 8. This is the cost effective abatement level for these two firms, right? Therefore, a cost effective standard would require firm 1 to abate 2 units and firm 2 to abate 8 units, right? And the marginal abatement cost for firm 1 is 2.5 A1 here. Then we substitute A1 by 2. This gives us 5. The marginal abatement cost for firm 2 is 0.625 A2 substitute by 8. This is equal to 5. So which means the equimarginal principle holds here. The marginal abatement at this efficient level of abatement is equal 5 and 5. Right. If we have a uniform standard, if there is a uniform standard, right? So a uniform standard, to make 10 units, it means each firm should abate 5. So we are saying A1 should be equal to 5 and A2 should be equal to 5. 5 units, right? What are the marginal costs for abating 5 units? For firm 1, marginal abatement cost is equal to 2.5 times A1, which is 5, and this is equals to 12.5. And for firm 2, marginal abatement cost 2 is equal to 0.625 times 5 abatement level. This is equals to $3.125. The marginal abatement costs are different in this case. The equimarginal principle fails to hold with a uniform standard, right? Because polluter 2 has a cost advantage. As such, uniform standard that requires each firm to abate 5 units would increase cost of abatement, and the equimarginal principle will not hold, right? So at uniform standard, this will not the equimarginal principle will not hold. Thank you for listening.